Hi everyone, welcome to Fun Fold Friday. I'm Dorene Decibus from It Begins with Ink and Paper, and I hit the start button on my iPod a little early. Let me just finish setting up. I don't have my lights on yet, so I apologize for that. But thank you for joining me either tonight on the live or on the replay. So I'm just setting everything up right now. I want to make sure I have everything set up so that you can see okay. And I think I do. Let me just finish getting some things. Just want to make sure you can see everything. Usually do this before I hit that live button, but here we are. So I think that looks good. Oops, let's just get the paper a little bit straight. Okay, I think we're all set up. Sorry about that, doing it live. I didn't want to have to re-enter everything into my iPod, to get started. So tonight we are going to be using the Horse and Sleigh bundle. This bundle is part of the online exclusives, and I just love it. We have dies to match the horse and sleigh and the bunny and the trees. It's just such a fun set. It is a photopolymer set, and it has a great set of dies that go with it. So you can see those. We have some snow and an extra tree, some just great little pieces to it. And tonight we're going to make something called a book jacket card. And this is a card that I believe was designed by Susan Campfield. And she is someone who loves to create fun folds. And so when I first learned about it, I just took some very vanilla cardstock and I made a template. So it opens like this and then like this. So it looks like a book jacket. It can stand. You can kind of see this little spot right here can even fit a package of candy the size of what are they called? I can see them. It'll come to me. They're in a square roll, so it will fit right in here. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I can't remember what they're called. It's not a candy, it's a chewy candy, so it's not a candy. Starburst, that's what they're called, Starburst. So a package of Starburst can fit right in the spine of the card, so that's kind of cool. And you can even hide a little message or hide something on the inside of the card. So that's what the template looks like. The card that I made for my first sample, I'm going to change this a little bit, but I used the Horse and Sleigh Designer Series paper, and it's just such beautiful paper. I love the serenity of this. And then for the inside of the card, I used more of that paper, and you'll notice that inside I have a little secret stamped joyful image. But I'm going to just up the ante a little bit on this card, and I'm going to add some Night of Navy cardstock to it. So it's not, I think this is beautiful just the way it is, but I thought I just want to add a little bit to it, even though this is so beautiful in its serenity. It will definitely be one of my Christmas cards. It does fold flat, so it will fit in one of our regular envelopes, so you don't have to worry about that. It's not even that much thicker, and this part here, the binding of the book, the end of it, is not, it's only, it's not that thick at all. And I think if it goes into the envelope this way, you're going to find that it will go through the post office scanners really nicely. So not to worry about that. Okay, so let me put that aside and let's go over what you need for cardstock. And since I changed this just a few minutes ago, I'm going to have to do some measuring of the cardstock as we go along because I haven't had a chance to finish typing in everything that we're using. So you're going to need 2 pieces to make this particular one, or whichever one you're going to be making. You're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock. I'm using the basic white thick cardstock. This one measures 5.5 by 6 3/4, and this one measures 5.5 by 7 1/4, and we're inches, and we're going to be scoring both of these. So I'll set those aside. You're going to need some scraps of some basic white cardstock, and with those scraps I have cut out there's 2 sizes of this for the snow dies, and I have cut out 3 of each of those sizes. So let me just get those out, and I've also cut out 2 of the trees. So you are going to need some scraps in order to have those. For the designer series paper, let's get all of that. So, if you can imagine, this piece here was 1 piece. Oops, let's get it the right. How was it? Oh, I cut the middle piece out. I cut 1/4 inch out of the middle because I wanted this. But this is actually from 1 piece of designer series paper. So from the top, I cut, this is 5 1/4 inches, the length up and down. And so I took the 3/4 inch piece that was left and cut that out, and then cut a piece off to make it 5 1/4 inches down. And then one of these pieces is 2 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4, and this piece is 3 inches by 5 1/4. And then I did the same thing, except I didn't need another piece of binding, and this one I just cut right from here. So I cut the top. I took 3/4 of an inch off the top, and then I cut a 3 by 5 1/4 piece and a 2 3/4, so the same exact size. Then I took my Night of Navy cardstock, and I cut 2 pieces that were 3 1/8 inch by 5 3/8 inches. I cut 2 pieces that were 2 7/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch, and then I cut one that was 7/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. So those are my different pieces. So what I'm going to start doing is just putting some of these things together so that they will be set to go. And you know, I started so soon I didn't bring out my Stampin' Seal. So we're going to be using, oh, I really wanted that. Nope, that's all right. We're going to be using our liquid glue to glue this on. And then I'm going to be using some tear and tape. Let me just get it out of the drawer. You can tell that my live started before I was ready for it to start. And we're going to be using some tear and tape today as well. So I'm just going to take some of this liquid adhesive. Good thing we can use lots of different types. Liquid adhesive is just as good as the Stampin' Seal. There's actually, I would say, 2 camps of stampers out there. Those who only use the liquid glue and those who use the Stampin' Seal. The one nice thing about the liquid glue is you do have the ability to move that around. So I'm going to set that one aside for a minute. I'm going to get one of my larger ones. I already am happy with this. So if you imagine, you know, the blue, I think that's going to look really nice as an addition for this. had a busy day today. I had to go with my husband to Boston. He had a doctor's appointment at Mass Eye and Ear. And so we spent most of the day on the road. I'm really glad we didn't have to go yesterday with that kind of messy weather that we had all day long with the freezing rain and all of that happening. But it was a beautiful day in Boston. Chilly, though. You know, it was 50 degrees, but man, it was a cold 50 degrees with the wind. So I'm just going to finish putting this adhesive on and layering. Like I said, I'm already really happy with what I'm seeing in the difference in the card that is my sample. I mean, this looks beautiful on the Night of Navy as well. And we have 2 more pieces to go, and then we'll have this done. We'll give it a chance to dry before we add it to our card. This horse and sleigh paper is just beautiful, and I just found out when I got home that Stamping Up next week on between the 14th and the 16th is having a sale, and one of the things, I believe it's 15% off, is designer series paper. So if you need to get caught up with, need some new ribbon or designer series paper, inks, they are all going to be on sale between, I believe, maybe 10 and 20%. I have to read this a little more carefully, but it looks like a great sale. So I'm going to look and see. I know I need some re-inkers, so I will probably be placing an order. Okay, so we've got all of our designer series paper set. Now, I'm going to save all of this for later on, the dies, and I'm going to bring up my score tool, my scoreboard. This is for me a must-have. So I'm going to start on my 6 3/4 inch piece of paper, and I am going to be scoring this. This is the one we're going to be scoring a lot. I'm going to start at the 1/2 inch, and I'm going to score at 1/2. Then I'm going to be scoring at 1.5, 2.5, and then 3.5. All right, and we'll be doing some mountain folds on this. And then on this one, I'm going to put it by my 7 1/4, and I'm going to be scoring at 4 1/4. All right. So that's our scoring. You don't need to wait until the video's over and scroll back to, hit the replay to get those dimensions. I will post it in the video after we're done. Now, the one thing that probably threw me at the beginning, this is the base of the card, and the base of the card is going to fold to the left instead of the right. So once I was able to put my mind around that, the rest of this card is easy to do. We have the space right here that is going to have, that this piece is going to attach with. So let's fold our score lines here. We're folding all in the same direction. So again, remember, a package of Starbursts will fit. I don't have any Starburst to show you. Because like I said, it's not a candy I normally would eat. All right. So to put this end of the book, so to have the book binding in, I'm going to take my tear and tape, because I really want this to be held nicely, and I'm going to put it right along this 1/2 inch piece. So I want to go right over to the edge. So I want this to stick and not pop up. So we'll just tear that off. It's always a good idea to just burnish it if you want it to come off really easily. And I know I have a pair of scissors around here somewhere. Oh, I thought I did. Let me see what I can find. I'll just use my tool here and get that off. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to fold this in like this. And I can just press it down. Make sure it's folded in nicely. Now this piece is going to be going on top of this piece. So I'm going to be putting my adhesive right along this piece here because it's going to be going over, and this becomes the top of our card like this. So just to give you an idea what I'm doing. So this is the piece that's going to get my tear and tape. So again, thank you for joining me, whether you're watching the live or the replay. Please make sure you pop on and say hi, whether it's the replay or I'm putting this on the wrong place. Oh, goodness. Well, for this part, I'm just going to leave it like this. I'll take care of that afterwards. I'm going to continue making the card. See, I start talking and I forget what I'm doing. So it should go on this piece here. We can actually cover that piece up with a piece of designer series paper. So that's what we will do. So we don't have to worry about that extra piece. So let me just measure that. So we'll need it to be 2 1/4. Okay, let me just grab another piece of this, since this is going on the inside. And I'll tell you, I am just not. I went to Boston and took a scrap of, took a bag of stamping stuff, and my bag of stamping stuff is in the other room. So I'm just going to mark this with my pencil at 2 1/4, and I'm going to just draw a line and just do this the old-fashioned way. How I used to do before I had a paper cutter. I don't know if any of you have ever had to do this way, but it works. Just get a pair of scissors out, and I'm just going to cut along since my paper is in the other room. Might have to cut a little more off. I think that's going to be just a tad too big. Okay. And I need to cut 3/4 of an inch. So let's go 3/4 and then cut the top off. And then I'm going to cut another 1/8 of an inch off. Good thing for grid paper. My laugh of the day, leaving my paper cutter in the living room. It's hard to believe that Thanksgiving is coming right up, but it is. I hope you're able to send a card out and be with family. All right, that is going to and then I'll just trim it. So I'm going to add my adhesive, and we're going to put that in, and it will cover up my mistake. I hate recutting cardstock when, you know, to me, a mistake is just an opportunity to improve your card. So there we go, and now you can't see that little goof. The one thing I was going to suggest before I was asking everyone to just say hello is that you do all of the gluing of your layers on before we actually put this together. Okay, so now when we look in, okay, so here we have our pieces. So let's start with my front layers. So this piece is on my front, and this piece is going to be stamped. All right, so I'm going to stamp my greeting right at the top, and I'm using Wishing You a Season of Cheer right from the stamp set, and that's going to go right at the top of our paper. There we go. That's all done. On the top of the smaller piece, I am going to be stamping Joyful, just to have a little surprise greeting on the inside. There we are. Okay, so the Joyful is going to go on the inside. So I'm going to add my adhesive. Oh, that looks so pretty on the inside. And then when I open up here, I'm going to be putting the smaller piece, this piece right here, and this piece is going to go right up next to the score line as well, to leave room for our front flap to go. So let's just add our adhesive. You don't need a lot to attach paper to paper when you're talking about when we're using our liquid glue. So here's the front flap, here's the inside flap, and then we're going to add our larger piece. I just love having the inside decorated. I just think it just adds to the card, and we have room on the back to do some writing. Okay, so there's that piece. Now I'm going to take our images over here, and I was going to use glue on this anyway. I'm going to be taking a small and a large snowbank, and I am just going to add on the back of the small piece a little bit of adhesive, because I want to slide my tree on one of these. So we'll just take this and match it up corner to corner. There we go. And then I can put more adhesive just back on the back and put that down on, first on the inside. The inside is just going to have the snow, and the flap is going to have the tree, because the flap is going to show more when we open up the card. So there we go. And again, we're going to just put that right here at the bottom. Let me just hold it down for a moment. And I'm going to take my tree, and I'm just going to be putting some little dots of the glue in some different key spots just to hold it in place. I don't need every part of it held, and I'm just going to put it here. I'm going to just lift up just lift that up a little bit and stick my tree underneath. Make sure it's standing straight and adhere it down. There we go. So this is what the inside of our card is going to look like. Really pretty. All right, so now I'm going to take away my tear and tape backing. And I'm going to put it right up to the edge of the card. And press down. So my card is going to close like that. You can see how it looks sort of like a book jacket. It will still fold flat. And now let me just make sure. There we go. So now I can add the back of my book. That is going to go right here on where the binding of the book would be. And then I can add my Season of Cheer. Onto the front. Line it up with the other layers. And then I'm going to add a snowbank to this as well. So we'll just put a little glue again on the ends because I want my tree to go right inside. And I love how you can cut the snowbanks right out of using your Stampin' Emboss, the Stampin' embossing machine. So this is going to go on the front, and I think these changes are going to be really nice with the card. So that goes on the front, and I'm going to add again a little bit of glue, just little dots. I don't want too much. And just one towards the top. Ooh, lucked out there. It fell right on glue side up. Okay, we'll open up our little snowbank. think we'll compare the two cards. That is looking pretty spectacular. I love it. And maybe what I will do, let's see, let's grab, I'm using the adhesive back sparkle gems. They have gold, silver, and black. And I was going to use the silver. And so I am going to go for the top right here. And then I think I am going to put another one down here by the tree. And this is our card for tonight. I love it. What do you think? So it can stand when it opens. This is what it's going to look like. It can stand opened like that. You can fit a starburst down there. And let's compare it to the card I showed you at the beginning of the video, which was my first, let's just get the glue top on, which was my first attempt at it, and then the changes. So, which one do you like better? The one I created tonight or the one I created earlier? Hi, Janice. Nice to see you. Yeah, I love it. So, this is it tonight for Fun Fold Friday. Thank you for being with me tonight during my goof off with the paper. I fixed it so that tape edge doesn't show, but I think we ended up with a great card tonight. So I'll be back Sunday night for Simply Stamping Sunday. And remember, we're using the very cute stamp set and the Berry Christmas Designer Series paper. And I will also be back Tuesday night for Christmas Made Easy. And this week we are making gift cards. So I think you'll love the gift card holders that I'm going to make for you. And it's a way to have a handmade Christmas, but super easy. So thank you for joining me tonight. I hope to see you Sunday night and Tuesday night. And of course, I'll be back next Friday for Fun Fold Friday. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.